What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So I was watching this girl. Somebody posted this girl who did a TikTok. They posted the TikTok on Facebook. And the young lady, she's from Chicago, and she was talking about how, a lot of young men that she see fall victim to the streets. It happens because a lot of times the parents are not paying attention to their children, right? They're not looking at the signs. They're not paying attention to things. They're choosing to be willfully ignorant to things that their children are doing. And, they mark it off as cute or they think it's cool, so on and so forth, right? And I completely agree with her 100%. Now, the young lady says she started to become privy of these things from working with children. But as a young man in the city, right, I've noticed, like, when you see, you can kind of tell the direction some children, like young children, are going in. When they're like 14, 15, you can tell the direction they're going in, the certain things that they say, certain things they post on social media, certain things they throw up, so on and so forth. And as a parent, it is our job to try to curb that, to counteract that. Right now, of course, we all know that that's not going to be, all the time it's not going to be 100% effective. Some children are going to do what they want to do and act out no matter how much you try to discipline them, no matter how much you try to put them on the right path. Some kids are just hard-headed and they just are attracted to the wrong things. And you can try to rear them and whoop them as much as you want to. Sometimes they're just going to do whatever the wildest stuff you can think of just because they're attracted to that, right? However, we see some parents, and she spoke on this. I've seen parents give their children birthday shout-outs on Facebook. They're sharing pictures of their children throwing up all type of signs and stuff like that, thinking it's cute, throwing up all type of gang signs, throwing up the middle finger. Your son's 17, 16 years old, right? There's no way in hell I can watch my children throwing up all type of signs, throwing up their middle finger and not correct them. There's no way, right? You see parents sharing it, thinking it's cute, thinking it's cool. No, your child is going down the wrong direction and it's nothing to be proud about, nothing to post about. And it gets so bad because, again, parents become enablers of this when they allow them when they share the pictures up and post them up. Like, no, like I would be embarrassed to post a pic of my child throwing up some gang signs and throwing up all type of hand signs and throwing up the middle finger. And no, it can never be a thing for me, right? But parents become enablers, and then, the kids start living a life like living on a crash course path, for real. Like, you see your child is associating himself and affiliating himself with some bullshit. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to tell my son, no, this ain't cool. You post him up as almost like you're encouraging it. Like you're accepting of him being having this street affiliation, throwing up certain stuff, putting all type of hashtags and their name is all type of wild stuff. You see what's going on. Like, no, you got to stop it. You got to stop that. You got to discourage that immediately. But some parents let it go on, and then something bad happens to their child. And then I've seen this too. Something bad happens to their child. They have no pictures of the child in their recent years to post up, even on the obituary. And nobody should be posting up their child on the obituary. No, that's not a thing that I want any parent to have to do. Our goal as parents is to have our children outlive us. We don't want to outlive our children. That's a scary thing, right? But I've seen children, get killed in the street, and their parents don't even have acceptable, appropriate pictures to post of their child on an obituary because their child has been throwing up middle fingers, gang signs, all in every picture, putting up pictures of weed and all of that, and liquor, and their parents are not correcting them. In no way am I trying to be cool with my child. I'm not trying to be the cool parent that allows them to do all different type of self-destructive behavior. Like, at some point, you got to be like, no, that's not okay. And I've seen mothers of some dudes and some young men that died in the street get on camera and act like they didn't know anything, like their child was just not involved in anything. Their child was just like, living the right path. They had no idea their child tried to downplay stuff that their child was doing out here. And I know firsthand. Their child was out here acting like a menace. A menace. I'm talking about like he was out here assaulting people in the worst way and out here a threat to a lot of folks out here, for real. Terrorizing people. So, nah, man. And again, you can if you pay attention to your child, and I know we all work, some of us have multiple children and all this and all of that, but if you pay attention to your child, you can tell certain things certain stuff, how he talking, how he moving, what he wearing, how he's wearing his clothes. You see your child, again, using certain terms on social media, having certain click names on social media. All that shit is null and void with me. There's no way you can tell. You can tell when your kid is on some other stuff. He got a block name in his name on Facebook. His name is a name of a block or whatever. And the parents is always, posting their child up, throwing up the signs. I'm like, no, that's not how you handle that. You correct that, and then that way, that child knows what he's doing is not acceptable. Is not accepted by his parents. I see fathers out here doing it too. Out here letting some of they, ignorant fathers out here letting their child just claim stuff and act like it's all cool and cute. There's nothing cool about it. I done seen young men die in these streets. And it started off with small little clique affiliations. And then it started to elevate or graduate to the disrespect of other neighborhoods. It started to graduate to, certain terms and phrases being used that are strictly gang disrespectful lingo. So it's like parents, of course, kids are going to do, some of these kids are going to do what they want to do. But parents have to learn to be more accountable for certain things that, you cannot enable your child. You cannot allow your child to think throwing up their middle finger in pictures and posting weed up. They're a teenager. Throwing up gang signs. You can't allow them to ever think that's acceptable. Again, if it's my child's birthday, I'm not posting my child up. He throwing gang signs up, middle finger, posting up weed and all. Hell no. You're not getting no birthday shout out from me with no picture. You're probably not even getting no birthday shout out. You're not getting no birthday shout out on Facebook. I'm going to tell you happy birthday personally. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to try to correct your ass and correct you in the best way possible to lead you away from that path of destruction. But again, too many parents are enablers of some of this stuff. You see your child coming in late night, anytime he want to. I've seen parents that allow their kids to do this type of shit, all for the name of being cool and have a cool relationship with their child because your parent was too hard on you. There's a fine line between, a parent being abusive and a parent being caring, a parent being an adult and a parent rearing their child in the right way. There's no way I'm ever going to green like that. You're not coming in my house anytime you want to. You're not smoking weed in my house. None of that shit. You're not smoking weed, coming in my house smelling like weed. You're not doing none of that. None of that with me. You're not posting up pictures and disrespecting neighborhoods, dropping gang signs, throwing up gang signs. You're not doing none of that. And I'm co-signing it. No. So in the woman in the video, she was talking about how we got to pay attention to our children. I remember one time, man, no lie, my uncle, he called my little cousin, using some gang lingo, some disrespectful gang lingo. He was about 12 or 13. And I remember my uncle called him and said, boy, what the fuck is you doing out here? I will whoop your motherfucking ass. That's how he talking to him. Boy, are you stupid? You will get killed out here. You will get killed out here in cold blood trying to align yourself up with some affiliation. And my little cousin wasn't no street kid. Just trying to do something that all the other kids doing. Monkey see, monkey do, follow the leader. Trying to just, run up, doing whatever the other kids are doing because it was popular to do at that time. Diss gangs and have gang affiliations. My cousin wasn't that. He's a great young man, an awesome young man, an amazing young man, right? But just imagine had my uncle let him continue to do that and just be like, oh son, hey, be careful, man. Hey, man, hey, stop doing that crazy stuff, man. And instead of correcting him like a man is supposed to correct this child. Just imagine what my little cousin would have been. My cousin is he's doing some outstanding things. Outstanding things, for sure. And I'm super proud of him. Making some excellent money the legal way. But just imagine had he let him do that. Had he let him be like, oh, that's cool. Or just like, oh, this is my son posting him up. He talking that gang lingo. My little cousin probably would have went on a path of destruction, even though that life wasn't for him, but trying to just follow up behind other kids. As parents, again, I understand some kids come from great homes and their parents rear them the right way, as I would recommend, and their kids just try to be wild and try to just impress other kids and want to have a certain street affiliation because they think it's cool. Some kids, though, their parents know what they're doing and they got an idea, but they trying to put it to the back of their mind and be negligent about it and act like it doesn't exist and act like it's not a problem. Again, I've known kids personally who were a menace in the streets, terrorizing folks. And they mothers knew stuff that they had affiliation with. Their parents knew. Their family knew. The family knew what they were aligned with and all of that, and then act like they didn't know it was that deep, or act like, they try to downplay it. My son wasn't doing all this. And yes, he was. And everybody knew it. Everybody knew it, including you, but you're in denial. It's never good to be in denial about your children when they're growing up as young adults. It's never good to be in denial about them, even in their adolescent years, because adolescent habits turn into adult habits, turn into teen habits, which lead to adult habits, right? And when you have negative adult habits, it can lead you down a road of destruction, whether it be an early grave or jail, right? And you want neither for your child. So we can't afford to be have this laissez-faire type of attitude regarding our children, this hands-off type of attitude towards our children. We can't afford to be in denial about your children. You got to look it dead on, face to face in the mirror, and look it dead on, face to face, and say, you know what, nah, my child out here wilding. I could tell, like my homies, when I went to school, some people, I knew when they were starting to stray and when we would have to part from one another. I could tell. Again, they started dressing different, talking different, using certain lingo, hanging around certain crowds. They started to look different. Like, even in just how they, like, their skin, you could just, something was going on. They just started to look different. Persona became different. Just a lot of stuff about them. Facebook name different. The pictures they took started to look different. They started to try to look like menaces out here. And I'm like, yeah, he making that turn. And I've seen the mother of these young men, the mothers, the parents in general. I've seen gang-banging fathers promoted and act like it was cool. I've seen mothers post the pictures up acting like it was okay that their son was out here gang-banging or throwing up gang signs and thinking it was cute. And then something happened to the child and it was like, oh my God, the world was turned upside down. I understand you're going to be hurt if you lose a child in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but there was no conduct. There was no action to try to negate their child from going down that road. There was no counteraction. There was no effort to counteract that road their child was going down. And that's what I couldn't respect. So it is up to us as parents to not be in denial about who our child is starting to become, who they're hanging around. It's our job as parents to curb, when they start to go down the road of bullshit, to curb them back in the right direction. It is. And we pray for the best and pray that they follow and take heed to our advice. But we know something, when your child is not with you, they're going to do what they want to do. But even when your child not with you, you can tell when your child is on bullshit. My mom, you can tell her one of us did something and she will tell you if we did it or not. She knows us like the back of her hand. She can tell you that. Whether it's good or bad, she can tell you what we did because she knows us and knows our characteristics. Not because she was around us every waking moment, but she studied our habits. As a parent, she knew this one to do that, this one to do that, this one to do that, this one won't do that, this one won't do that, this one will. She knows, right? There were certain things my mother knew I was not going to do. If you told my mama when I was in college I wasn't going to class and I was staying in the room every day, she'd tell you that's a damn lie. Because she knows me, right? She could tell you, if you tell her I was late to class every day, or a lot, she'll tell you that's a lie. If you tell my mother my little sister was late to class on a regular, she'll tell you she definitely did that. She was late. She knows us. If you tell her I was procrastinating on some stuff, she know, yes, I was. He did that. He was procrastinating. She'll tell you, yes, he was, right? If she tell you my sister, my older sister was procrastinating, she say, no, she wasn't. She wasn't. I know her. So you can, even when you're not, you don't have to be around your children to know them, to study their behaviors and say, nah, man, this one to do that. This one is gullible. This one is impressionable. She know I wasn't an impressionable child. She know I didn't give in to peer pressure. So she knows, oh no, Malcolm, he wasn't doing that. She know that. She know that. She saw it by the crowd of people I hung around, how I conducted myself, and even how I was still dressing, how I was talking on social media. She could tell. She could tell how, like, the people I hung around, the mannerisms I had, she could tell, right? She could tell if one of our cousins was going down that path and say, oh no, come here. He needs to bring his motherfucking ass here. She could tell. She been around us to know. She could tell what we gravitate to, what we don't, all of that. So you don't have to be around your child every waking moment to know if they are susceptible or if they are impressionable to where they will go down a path of destruction or not. You can tell. You can put on, don't put on your blinders. You know what I mean? You can put on the blinders if you want to and try to have tunnel vision and act like it's not there. It does not bode well for your children. Be aware, use your peripheral and see all around you and say, nah, man, survey that landscape. Yeah, my son is going down the wrong path and it needs to be corrected. And there's nothing wrong with that. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.